I just spent the last like 2 minutes trying to get my cat up. Hello, you beautiful people. This is probably going to be the first in a series of videos where I just tell random stories from my life, but this will be one of maybe two parts, I don't know, in Catholic school stories that I have from when I was in preschool through freshman year of high school, because I went to a Catholic school from preschool through 8th grade. It was a grade school. And then I went to like local Catholic high school where I lived in Illinois, freshman year only. So why don't we get started? So the first story I want to tell involves, well, so it was pretty much, it was supposed to be like, oh, we have this famous football guy coming to talk to you guys in your class. I'm like, okay, what does this have to do with anything? And of course, me knowing how this crap goes, because I mean, what am I in 7th grade at this point? I want to say I was at the point where I knew Catholic school was essentially religious propaganda, no matter how much I liked, no matter what I knew, more or less. So I pretty much knew it was gonna be bullshit. God damn it, my webcam's all fucked. Anyways, so back onto the story. So essentially, so this football player, I don't even remember what his name was. I think it was from like Wisconsin or some shit. I don't know, but essentially this guy came in to talk to us, to our class about like, I don't know, something about like porn or something, and how kids were addicted to porn or something. It was weird. It was some weird Catholic school bullshit. I mean, what do you expect? It's a Catholic school. Honestly, who knows? And so he goes talking to us about it. He gives a presentation. Asks us a few questions and whatnot about it, and basic presentation. And so the presentation ends, and because I'm not out as trans yet, or I'm not out in general. I wasn't even out as bisexual at the time. I was just I was stuck with the boys. So what ended up happening was they split us off into groups of guys and girls. And that's where the things get diverse a little bit. So with the guys and girls being split off, I was stuck with the guys as a given. So pretty much the whole thing with the guys was they were asking for feedback on the presentation, what we thought, if it could have been presented any better, that kind of thing, reasonable stuff, given it was a presentation. I mean, I completely understand. And I mean, it was a pretty basic presentation about kids who wrote letters about being addicted to porn and how they can get help. It was the weirdest shit ever. I'm gonna tell you that much. It was probably one of the weirdest things I encountered, other than my coming out story, which will be in a separate video, by the way. Don't even worry about that. But anyhow, then we get to the girls' side, which I heard from my friend actually about what this was about. So essentially, oh my god, I gotta sneeze. All right, sneeze taken care of. Anyway, so I heard about the girls' side of the presentation from another friend of mine. I think I'm still friends with to this day, actually. But anyway, so apparently all the girls who were at the presentation got taken into a separate classroom in a different part of the school. And apparently they got confronted about sending nudes and all these weird stuff. And I'm like... And it's just like, I understand we're minors, but like... We're in 7th grade. Was that really that bad of an issue? I think it had to do with rumors of some girl... sending nudes and doing all sorts of weird shit. I don't know. It was Catholic school. They came up with all sorts of fucked up shit that my brain couldn't even process at the time. I'm going to be honest. So that was a very, very weird incident. Before you ask, yes, this video is being recorded right before I pretty much went to the doctor before my respiratory infection. It is currently 8:24 at night. Ooh, lamp lighting over on this side. I'm not used to, webcam shit, but I mean, it was pretty basic, honestly, nothing crazy. But like, I mean, I don't really have a lot of exciting Catholic school stories, so I'm going to get into one more before we continue this. But honestly, first things first, a word from our sponsor, NordVPN. I'm just kidding, I'm not sponsored by anybody, but I do have a NordVPN subscription, unironically. The second story has to do with pretty much my freshman year of high school. There wasn't really a whole lot that happened that year, but It essentially goes around how I was able to dodge going to mass every single goddamn week. I mean, it's not anything super crazy. I mean, so essentially, so there's going to have to be some context for this, which I'll explain here in a second, but essentially, going to class and whatnot. Okay, so when I was in grade school, we had mass every single Friday at the church that was literally right across the parking lot from the school. I was in choir for there. I didn't do any extracurriculars for my freshman year of high school other than the tech club, which I mean that was self-explanatory. I'm a nerd. What do you expect? It's what I do. Anyhow, so essentially, I get into high school. I pretty much abandoned religion by sixth grade at that point because I'm not into religious propaganda, and honestly, if I want a religion, I'll find my own way. I'm not going to go by how I was forced to grow up and all that stuff. But anyhow, so more or less, we get into the part of how I dodged going to church because honestly, I didn't want to go to church and I absolutely hated crowds. My anxiety was horrible at the time, amongst other things. So let's get started on that. I just popped on the light because currently I honestly couldn't do much about the lighting situation. And plus, honestly, the frame rate's better when I'm in the light, for one. And for two, I genuinely just look like dog shit in the dark. I mean, I look dog shit no matter what. I mean, my face is acceptable, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, now we're going to actually get on to the story. So essentially, at the time, my mental health wasn't in the greatest place, and I had horrible anxiety problems with pretty much the rest of the entire school, and pretty much I also had issues, because coming from grade school, I went to school with pretty much most, if not all of my peers from when I went to grade school, and going to freshman year of high school, things were a mess, and I couldn't escape them regardless. Anyway, so essentially, I would dodge getting out of mass in the dumbest way possible. Basically, I would bring up some bullshit excuse that my anxiety was really bad and whatnot. And so they'd let me stay in the counseling center with all the school counselors and stuff. Now, there were some times where the school counselors would actually go down and go to mass, but that didn't happen too often. If that were the case, I'd just stay in the main office in the back, because obviously some people at the main office had to stay there. But in that case, I dodged doing that. And actually, my little get away from everything spot for the rest of the year was pretty much me hanging out in the counseling center or the tech office. I'd hang out in there. Like I had a 504 plan. I actually didn't technically have to be in class, but as long as I did my work, and I even got small extensions because they didn't carry over IEPs for whatever reason. I don't know. I had an IEP in grade school. That's a whole different story that I don't even understand, but more or less, it was just like, yeah, I got to dodge the churches, and God, I am glad. Now, that doesn't even get into the story, because I'm only telling two stories today, but although this is more my sister's story to tell and not mine, but pretty much how when our last the principal I had while I was there passed away, and again, he got replaced with another one who was a nun who was an absolute bitch, by the way, but that's neither here nor there. I've met some pretty absolutely cool nuns when I was in school, I'm going to be honest. But other than that, there's not a whole lot to it. And honestly, getting out of mass and being able to hide away in either the tech office or in the counseling center or the main office, just being out of class unless I absolutely had to go to class. Honestly, that probably saved my freshman year of high school. I mean, I transferred out to public school afterwards. That was like blessing in disguise. It allowed me to truly emphasize my emo phase. So that was a fun time and a half, let me tell you. So with that being said, that was very short, nothing crazy to be honest. Figured this would be a dumb little project to do just for, a Wednesday night before I go to call the doctor and go figure out why I had whatever respiratory infection is going on. I'll post a video once I figure out what the hell's going on. More or less, yeah, it's my entire Catholic school story is I don't have anything exciting to really tell. I mean, the coming out story I think is probably the most eventful part that happened. But yeah, that's pretty much about it I got for today. If you'd like, you can leave a comment below telling some dumb, silly Catholic school stories you might have had, even if they were ridiculous, or even just regular school stories. I don't know. I had some pretty crazy shit that happened when I was in public school too. I mean, not crazy, crazy, but more like just a little more interesting. I think the craziest thing was my coming out story, which once again, I'll make another video about. But with that being said, I also apologize for my messy room. I have a very messy room because honestly, I don't clean up. I leave clothes everywhere, I'm going to be honest. And plastic bags I still need to throw away. Because, yeah, I like making snack trips and I throw the garbage away, but not the food. Not the, wait, for God's sake, I eat the food. I eat the food, okay? The plastic bags, I forget to throw away because I take the actual garbage out, but I don't take the plastic bags out because I'm a dumbass. Anyway, that'll be it for the video. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. I hope you had a fantastic day. I hope your evening, day, afternoon, wherever the hell you are, is wonderful. And from my dumb poop brown eyes and poop brown hair and my dork-tastic face to another, I hope you have a wonderful day. And that'll be it. Take it easy.